Hey, dividing rational expressions ain't no thing as long as you can multiply rational expressions and you understand that division and multiplication are inverse operations. That's fancy words for you can convert division to multiplication as long as you take the reciprocal of the fraction. You're still going to factor the tops and bottoms. You're going to convert division to multiplication as long as you take the reciprocal of the second thing. Use top times top and bottom times bottom and simplify just like for multiplication. Let's get it. All right, here nothing else factors actually. That's factored, that can't be factored, that can't be factored, that can't be factored. Everything's factored. What I can do though is convert that division into multiplication as long as I flip the second fraction here. Now I actually prefer dots for multiplication because I don't want you to confuse that times sign for x's. But whatever, free country for now. I'm going to flip that second fraction and convert dividing to times. Let's do it. Multiplying fractions is top times top and bottom times bottom. Not too bad. Once I have my mega multiplied fraction, I can cancel things if they appear in both the top and bottom. I have an x minus 1 on bottom and top, which means that this simplifies to give me 7 over x plus 2. And I'm done, because nothing else cancels. I'm going to state restrictions, because we're always supposed to with rational expressions. X can't have been positive 1 from this, or positive 1 from that, or negative 2 from this. You're going to have to state restrictions based on anything that ever appeared in the bottom, or denominator. So there you go, there's your final restriction. That was pretty straightforward. As long as you know how to multiply these things, division is not too bad. Don't forget to factor. I'm going to give you this challenge question that you can factor along with me. Are you ready? Let's go. Two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to negative 5. That factors to x minus 2 and x minus 3. The bottom here does not factor. It's just x plus 2. Now this next one's division, so I'm going to convert it to multiplication and flip the fraction. So what was on bottom is now going to be on top. That's 10 factored out of this, which leaves me with x squared minus 4. And on my new bottom, I have whatever this factors to. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 21 and add to 4. That's x plus 7 and x minus 3. This multiplication stays, and so this fraction is preserved as is. I can factor this to 5 times x plus 2. No, x minus 2. Oh boy, what am I talking about? All right, now, the way you multiply rational expressions is top times top times top. I'm going to ram those all together. That's x minus 2, x minus 3. I've got a 10. This is difference of squares. I'm going to factor that as I write it down. That's x minus 2 and x plus 2. And x plus 7 as well. Top times top times top. My bottom has x plus 2, x plus 7, x minus 3, an extra 5, and an x minus 2. Luckily for me, a bunch of this junk cancels. X plus 2's cancel, x plus 7's cancel, x minus 3's cancel, 5 cancels with 10, leaves behind 2, because I'm dividing, remember? And this x minus 2 can cancel with one of these x minus 2's, not both. You can only cancel one thing at a time from the top and bottom. So that x minus 2 disappears with that x minus 2, and that's it. This x minus 2 is left over. My final answer here is just regular 2 times x minus 2, and that's it. I'm going to state restrictions for good measure. X can't have been negative 2, or negative 7, or positive 3, or positive 2. And actually, because this thing was on bottom originally, I have to be careful that I'm also accounting for its restrictions. Its restrictions that were carried forward would have been positive 2 and negative 2, which are already accounted for, so that's good. If there had have been an extra x minus, 11 here, on what is now the top but had been the bottom, I would have had to build that into my restrictions, because you can't divide by a fraction. Well, a fraction can't exist if it was ever 0 on bottom, right? Because you can't divide by 0. The real point here is that division gets converted to multiplication, and you flip the fraction that immediately comes after that division sign. So take the reciprocal, the second fraction here, and convert division to multiplication. It becomes top times top times top, bottom times bottom times bottom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You don't have to squeeze your lemons, but you do if you want the juice. Best of luck.